From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The name's Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. I don't know why, but you are.
What's going on, nerds? And
Hey,
well,
guess
crap. Why? I feel like you had that plan this whole time. Yes?
I possibly had that plan this whole time.
Yeah, you know.
AJ, what's today? What's today?
November 21st. Oh, yeah, you cut me off. I'm completely deadpanning it right now.
Okay, I'll rephrase. What number episode are we on?
We, after, like, Monday night when I did the count, I realized we were at 399, which meant Thursday we would hit 400. That's Nerds, Wrestling with Nerds, the anime show, any of the other shows that we've done in the past. We are hitting 400 with X2 tonight.
Woohoo!
Been a long time.
And it all started with a nudge.
No, it all started with the damn virus. I still want to hang out with friends. I'm going to buy a microphone.
I also shoved you off the ledge.
Yeah, be careful. Warn a guy next time because those stairs hurt. Dong, 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 dong.
But look where you are now.
I'm still bald.
That's not changing. A push down the stairs is not going to help that.
It's not long enough. Maybe if I had Rob's beard, it might help. Rob, next time we get together, just stand over me with the beard.
That could work. It'll get longer.
Ethan's might be better.
Ethan's beard?
Ethan's hair.
Oh, well, Ethan's got hair like a lion. Drop him. He's just missing the scar over his left eye.
Yeah, it's true.
Give me eyeliner, I'll fix it.
No.
Because there's no way in heck that Ethan's Mufasa.
No.
He's definitely Scar.
No, I got one better.
Uh-oh.
Oh, fuck.
Ethan, tell me we've got a city to burn.
Wait, what am I saying? We got a city to burn. We have a city to burn. Why are we burning cities?
Cyberpunk.
Oh.
That took way too much. I was like, where are we going with this?
What I was saying.
He looks like Johnny Silverhand.
I'll take that. Give me a revolver.
And a crap ton of money, Keanu Reeves.
And that. I'll take that too.
It's a lot of zeros at the end of your bank account.
Gotta get those eddies.
But we are hitting 400 with 2003's X2, and we've come a long way from the Dark Knight trilogy with Susie, Paul, Carly, and myself. And look what it's grown into. Will, you weren't on that show.
Oh yeah, I wasn't.
I checked.
Right.
I listened to it again, and boy, are we green. We are very green.
We're still a little green, but not as green.
That's.
Well,
I have a mic.
I have a question for Rob.
Yes.
Your thing says to ask you about your X-Men OC.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us about your X-Men OC?
Okay,
Oh, this is from last week. Okay.
This is from last week because no one wanted to bring it up, but now you're seeing it. It
So-
says right there. Ask me
Because
about
we
my
do this
X-Men
on-
OC.
Yeah, because we do this on Zoom, his name popped up as he's talking. And I'm like, I need to ask now.
So, growing up, I read a lot of the comic books, I watched a lot of the shows, and I was just like, oh man, I want to be an X-Men. So I decided to make an X-Men that I would be, part of the school, learning as an X-Men.
I'm afraid
And
where this is going.
my X-Men was Gerald Ivanov,
Okay, that's not what the thought.
and
Okay,
and his X-Men name was Rusty. And Rusty had the ability to decay any metal that he comes near.
I feel like you hate Magneto.
Uh, well, no, it would have also worked on adamantium and stuff.
You also hated Logan. Got it. Oh, rusting Logan from the inside out. Ah,
So yeah, that was Gerald Ivanov.
you are a
Rusty.
sick person. But let's get into some of the backstory for 2003's X2 X-Men United. Had a budget about 115 million. Brought home 407 million. So another success. People aren't really tired of the X-Men yet. But all the stars are coming back. Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen, Halle Berry, James Marsden, Brian Cox as Stryker, which was a very, very nice. Was that a yawn?
No, I have to sneeze.
Achoo. Dave Chappelle's character in.
Robin of Mentites.
Thank you. I was waiting for one of the Mel Brooks fans in here.
I'm more disappointed that you didn't know that.
No, I knew it, but I was. Oh, my shoulder popped on that. Ow. But let's get into this movie because this basically turned into X-Men versus all. The government's about to sign into law that mutants are bad, basically, and we start this movie with Nightcrawler, who I'm guessing was poisoned by Stryker. Rob, you're gonna have to help me out with that. And it goes on basically a killing spree in the White House.
Yeah, so Stryker has brainwash juice that he can put on people's necks to
Oh,
brainwash
okay.
them.
So, Rob, I'll start with you. When talking about X2, does it follow up the first X-Men well? And do you think this stands alone on its 2 feet with the story, the characters, and what happened here?
I think it does stand on its own pretty well for a sequel. If you knew nothing about the previous one, you could just jump right into it and be fine.
Okay.
Because even with not even seeing any of the cartoon stuff, you come into this and it's just like it's basically like the start of the original X-Men show. Where you're just throwing these characters, but it's okay because they do a pretty good job setting up what each person can do.
Suze, what are your thoughts?
So, one of my things that I don't like about most sequels is they don't truly follow what the initial premise was. This one does it very, very well. It even continues with Xavier promising to help Logan figure out his past that he doesn't remember. So we get to see the continuation of it, but you could jump in and watch X2 without having to watch the first one. Like Rob said, like there's a storyline throughout the whole thing. I feel like there's a storyline that connects the 3 movies, but at the same time, they're structured enough to be standalone movies.
Yeah, this was a. I honestly think when it comes to sequels or second movies in a trilogy, you have Star Wars, Batman, Lord of the Rings. This holds up to Empire Strikes Back, The Dark Knight. This is a very good sequel to progress the story, as we are going to see. I think the third one's called The Last Stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will, what are your let's hear what you thought about the story and how it progressed from 1 to 2 and how it held up.
I thought it flowed without needing to rely too much on the first one.
And that's kind of what you want from a movie, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
You
At
don't
least
want to,
that's what I think.
you don't want to be like, why are they not explaining what that guy is, who that guy is, and what is he doing here? But let's talk about some of the undertones through this movie, um, especially with Bobby's family when they go up to Boston. Listening to a interview with Bryan Singer and I can't remember who it was. Who plays Bobby?
Shawn Ashmore.
Thank you. And I should know this because I literally am very excited for the rookie to come back. Um, and
I want to make sure I got the right twin though. Hold on.
wait, there's twins?
There's. I'm okay.
Thank you for realizing I was playing with you there. But no, there was a very not like kind of like a gay undertone, but it's
Okay, I did have the right one.
it's kind of showing it. He's a mutant, but you know, instead of saying mutant, you could see how people would react to a. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
What's up?
Did it take you this long to realize that's the allegory?
No, this is the first time I've seen the movie.
No, X-Men as a whole.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yes, X-Men as a whole is an allegory for marginalized people
Mm-hmm.
in society.
I will say this on stream right now. I feel a heck of stupid right now. Number one, number two, it opens up so much of what I've seen, like in the movie. Like it explains the first one a lot more. It very much explains what they go through in the second one. Kind of excited to see the third one now. But damn, his brother sucks.
Yeah.
His brother is a dick. So, without burying me for not realizing it literally till now, what'd you guys think of the overall story of bringing Nightcrawler in and kind of using him as a, I don't want to say MacGuffin, but as a character that allows for more characters to showcase themselves, like Storm, helping Storm get to Professor X. And I love the ending of the movie too when they're all back in the White House. Rob, talk about the story and the addition to some of these characters.
Well, to go back to your previous point, this is why this is a good movie, because they hit you over the head with it. Have you tried not being a mutant? Like, they don't hold back with the comparisons like they do in the later movies. Like, it did take you until now because they stopped making those connections, really.
And
But
the balls of Bryan Singer, the cast, and everything to go through that, along with, I'm guessing the comic books were like this as well.
yes, Stan Lee's original vision for the X-Men was that they were supposed to be the stand-ins for marginalized people.
Okay, because I don't
It-
have X-Men comic books.
Yeah, it was one of the selling points of the X-Men is anyone can be an X-Man.
Except Deadpool.
No, Deadpool can be an X-Men.
Yeah, from the movie where we're in the X Mansion and he's just closing the door. Nope.
I really
But
wish they
yeah,
would explore that more.
This story is a very good one because everyone gets a counter to themselves. I do not like what they did to Lady Deathstrike.
No.
I felt
No,
horrible the
that
way she
hurt.
died.
And she was never in control, by the way.
No.
She was brainwashed the entire time. She has such more character in the comic books, and it hurts to see her just be used as a one and done villain.
I felt so bad for her. She literally turned into a victim of the doll maker. Just instead of the wax, it was adamantium.
And here's the thing. I don't know if she died from that.
So you're
because
saying
she's
she
a
drowned?
regenerator like Wolverine. Yeah.
Well, there were a couple people that drowned.
Yeah.
I'm guessing somebody comes back in the next movie, which we'll talk about later, when we actually talk about the end. Will, what part of this story that they told in X-Men United really stuck out at you?
Sorry, I'm trying to actually remember the movie.
Fair enough.
You know, you want to know when I watched X2 like 15 years ago?
Well, you think about it, the part of the movie that stuck out to me is the fight in the facility. Especially watching Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike go at each other. Also loving the fact that they...
How about Cyclops and
Jean Grey?
Jean. Sorry, brain. Just Also, just so everybody knows, I'm podcasting, but there's food waiting for me, and it just smells great. So,
nice.
my brain is like, but yeah, there were a couple really good fights in here, Suze.
Yeah, no, and I think that's my favorite part are the fights. Is also watching Rogue, Bobby, and Pyro come into their own beings. And start to actually
Pyro
become
bad guy now.
Pyro bad guy now, but
is that the same Pyro from Deadpool Wolverine? The same actor?
Yes.
Yes.
I do believe
yes,
so.
it is.
Because they brought a couple people back for Deadpool Wolverine. Oh, speaking of that, Rob, since we're going to talk about the actual movie weeks away, what were your initial thoughts of Deadpool and Wolverine? Just initial thoughts.
It was everything I wanted it to be and everything it needed to be.
All right, perfect. Leave it there. Keep your notes, because I can't wait to actually talk about the movie when we get there.
Notes.
I have to remember to bully James to be on the podcast for that one.
Who?
James for Deadpool and Wolverine. He's watched it about 100 times.
I think I've seen it 4.
Twice.
Oh. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So speaking of how everything happens in this movie, you bring up the fights, and with those characters in those fights, we don't know how 2 of them... Well, I think Lady Deathstrike is dead. One of the other ones is not, or is, but is not.
Lady Deathstrike is confirmed dead in this movie.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay. She is confirmed dead in this movie. It is believed that she drowns
From the
because of the
adamantium?
adamantium, not because of the water.
Okay. And then
It's very weird, and it all depends on which theory you go off of. But all the theories all agree that she is dead in
So-
this timeline.
I'm curious about Jean Grey because she's I know what they're setting up for, and with how bad the movie Dark Phoenix was, I'm very nervous
So
of what X3 is going to be like.
what do you think that they're setting up for?
Jean Grey is going to wreck house basically, and somebody's gonna have to put her down.
Okay.
I don't know who. It could very much be a self-sacrifice thing, like kind of like what we saw with Sophie Turner in Dark Phoenix. Mind you, everybody, don't spoil it in the chat because I will read the chat and I would be very upset. I haven't seen any of these 3 X-Men movies that we're talking about last week, this week, and then in 2 weeks from now. So this is all new territory for me. And I'm guessing everybody that is here has seen these movies.
Yeah, multiple times. I tend to watch them when I'm cleaning.
Yeah, but then you don't end up cleaning. You just end up like,
No, I actually end up cleaning.
yeah,
I
I
crack
know.
roll up when I do it.
You're like, ah, ah,
Mhm.
ah,
Um,
but yeah, that's what I think they're going to because you could see the Phoenix Force around her just as she pulls her hand down. Is it called the Phoenix Force?
that wasn't what I thought you were going to reference when you thought Jean Grey was going to be in the 3rd movie.
Should I be worried on what you thought I thought? You thought what I thought, what you thought I thought?
No, but I'm just
Or
hoping you
hurting my
noticed
fucking
it.
brain.
You're a thought.
Hold on. Now I am.
So yeah, you could see the aura of Phoenix around her. But did you notice at the end when they're leaving that the Phoenix emerges from the water?
No. Never noticed that.
There's a Phoenix emblem, and Rob can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure at the end of that movie there's the wisp of a phoenix coming out of the water.
I did notice at the end of the movie, right when Xavier is gonna teach that class again, he does look out the window and just cracks a smile. So I'm curious if she's like there.
Mhm.
I don't know. But what about the little rivalry that Wolverine and Cyclops had throughout this whole movie? Yeah, well, the last 2 movies.
Why did they have to adapt this?
Was that actually?
It is in the comics, and it's the most
I-
obnoxious thing on the face of the freaking planet.
I know it's.
It is. I hate it.
I know it's. I know it's in the '97 animated show, just by watching that last season of it.
Mhm.
So I wasn't. I've seen it. The only thing that threw me off in this movie is when they kiss, and then she's like, "I can't do this." Goes into this ship, and the next thing you know, she's in his tent. And then all the shape shifting, where she shape shifts into Stryker. I was like, that's weird. That's
So yeah, where would you go? What would have happened if Logan was just like, "Yes, I'm going to bang Stryker now." So,
See-
what would she do in that situation? Just like,
See, my brain is if they're like, and then she switches from a guy. Does the hole just disappear, and then his Gumizigama is gone too?
In the comic book, she could transform into anything, really. Like she's turned into animals. Like once was a snake, just like a freaking anaconda. Just
I didn't know she could do animals. I mean, transform into animals. But yeah, there were. I thought this movie was really good. really, really good. But there was a good 5 to 10 minutes in this movie sporadically where I thought they could have right out. Like that scene, like that whole campfire scene that they weren't talking about the plan and where they got all those notes for Cerebro from. That could have all gone. Everything but what I just mentioned could have. We didn't need any of that. We didn't need the 2 hour runtime.
And AJ, do you want me to tell you that in some of the comics they actually have a threesome?
None of
Why
the
did you have to bring up the threesome? Why did you have to bring up the threesome?
Because
London Bridge is
every
falling
comic
down.
timeline that I have read so far, they have had some variation of Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops, and it drives me absolutely crazy. So somebody else had to enjoy the threesome with me.
At least you didn't mention Squirrel Girl.
Nope, I'm not touching that one.
So how about experiment 134? Right? Is that the number? Did I get the right number?
I believe his name was
Jason.
Mastermind.
Yeah, but Professor X calls him Jason, and that
Oh.
ends up being Stryker's son, and
Mhm.
he's got his son brainwashed. He absolutely hates mutants, but his son is one of them. And we find out that he got sent to Xavier's school, basically hoping that Xavier would just kind of like get rid of his son for him, and come to find out it doesn't happen. But what do you? He's another character never heard of at all throughout anything I've seen Marvel. Rob, was that just a this movie thing? Was that comic books? And if it was comic books or TV show, do you think he was portrayed well?
Jason was in the comic books. He was not portrayed as he was in the comic books because Jason in this has no character, no personality because of the brainwashing. As for Stryker, he has a little bit more interaction with actual Senator Kelly and
Well, Senator Kelly is dead.
Monger. Yes, Senator Kelly's been dead for a while. But he also had some interaction, I believe, with Hate Monger.
Okay.
Who was, I think, the leader of the KKK,
Wasn't expecting that.
or a stand-in for them. And I think at one point Baron Zemo. I don't remember.
See,
That might have been a crossover with Captain America.
I didn't mind Jason as much, just for the fact of he was an instrument for Stryker to use to kill all the mutants. Scratch that. Kill all the humans. So I kind of liked that kind of MacGuffin into it. Other than that, he was very much a plain Jane character.
Not the MacGuffin crystal.
Not MacGuffin Man.
So
No,
apparently
go for
Jason
that.
isn't brainwashed. He was lobotomized.
But that would do it too.
Right. That was it.
That would definitely do it because he was nobody's home.
But he uses stuff from Jason because of Jason's mutant ability. That's what he uses to brainwash other mutants to be compliant to follow his orders.
If you had to pick one part of this movie, anybody can go first here. One part of this movie that you would consider, could it be a 5 minute, 10 minute, whatever, to show somebody who's never seen an X-Men movie, comic book, TV show, whatever. What part of this movie would you show them?
I think the campfire scene.
Okay.
The cathedral.
See, that's where I was going with Nightcrawler. I backed it up a couple times because I thought it was hilarious on how, not really hilarious, but how he's just bouncing from in the whole cathedral, and then they walk in and he's screaming German at him. It's like our friend group.
including me
did,
spouting random German obscenities at you.
do you know who plays Nightcrawler?
I do, but I can't picture. I can't think of his name.
Alan Cumming.
Which he's also in. I got rid of it too. But Rob, why the campfire scene?
Because a lot of X-Men is not just the action. Don't get me wrong, in the comic books, a lot of it's action. But a lot of it's the interpersonal drama of being a mutant in society that either one doesn't know about them, and if they did, they would kill them, or two knows about them and wants to kill them.
So
And this is everyone trying to, come to terms with a world that's trying to kill them. You get the magnificent scene between Nightcrawler and Mystique of why don't you just look like them? It's like we shouldn't have to.
yeah, and I don't know about you guys and how you feel about what I'm about to say. The best villains aren't always the ones that you think are villains. Like, I completely agree with Mystique or Magneto in some aspects, and just the way they go about things is I would think is bad. Um, I also find it cool, and you brought up the campfire scene. While they're on two separate specters of how they want to do things, they don't necessarily hate each other. And it's kind of cool to see, because if this was DC, you don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like it. But here it's like we have the same goal, just complete opposite ways of doing it. Granted, Magneto has no problem killing people.
This harkens back to Stan Lee is there is no such thing as a god in my world. Everyone's some shade of human. And
So,
I will say for Magneto,
Mhm.
he is a bit different from his comic book counterpart. This is not a fully faithful representation of him.
okay.
A fully faithful representation of him would be, ironically enough, Hitler, but more extreme.
Really?
He doesn't believe that humans are wrong. He just thinks that the Nazis were wrong because they didn't have the right kind of supreme human.
No kidding.
Yeah, he wanted to genocide all regular humans because they weren't the perfect human.
He thinks X-Men, those with the X gene are the perfect humans.
Interesting. I didn't know any of that. Cool.
Hence
I'm
the
learning.
name hence the name of his original organization, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
See, I
He
thought they were
straight
just
up
called
puts
the Brotherhood.
No, he straight up slaps evil on it because he knows what he's about.
Every time you say evil, I hear Mermaid Man.
Evil.
All right, so we are taking next week off for Thanksgiving because most of us will be getting fat. I am going to continue being fat.
I will continue enjoying my food. It's also my daughter's first Thanksgiving, so
you're gonna give her a little bit of stuffing.
We're gonna have a little bit of everything, but we were reminiscing today at work about how little over a year ago, so basically when we're all eating turkey and everything else, I was admitted to the hospital for the first time. So I made it through Thanksgiving last year.
I remember being at work and getting a phone call from Will, then you, and then I think Will again saying, "Yeah, it might be coming. Just let our friend group know. Might be happening." Yeah. And then I think you called me. It was like, "Yeah, they're sending me back. Don't know what's gonna happen." And then about 25 minutes later, Will goes, "Yeah, they're taking the baby. They're yanking him or yanking her. Full eviction notice."
Yep.
can't handle your shiny luck in this fucking.
But
game.
out of the X-Men movies we have done so far, before we close up and be done with X-Men X2, X-Men United, where would you rank X2? You have First Class, Days of Future Past, X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, X-Men, and then X2. There are 7 of them. I don't care about the other ones. Where do you put X2 on that top 7 list?
4.
Yeah, I would say like in the middle, like 4, 3, 4.
Out of
Yeah,
the ones we've done, this is 2 for me.
Hmm.
Future Past is number 1 for me.
See, for me, Future Past, First Class. I actually enjoyed Apocalypse. Nobody else really seemed to. I liked Apocalypse. And then this would be.
Fine.
It was okay.
It was okay, but I enjoyed it, so it ranks high enough.
We have
to
the
say-
consensus that Dark Phoenix is 7.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
So when we're done with everything, is it going to be 14, or are we actually going to give it to New Mutants being the worst?
I haven't seen New Mutants, so I'll hold off on my my
Okay.
assessment.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
waiting for Rob to chime in, because Rob
I've
would have
not
been the
seen New
dead
Mutants
giveaway.
either.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, Mister. I've watched everything.
I've read a lot. I've watched a lot. I will never claim to have seen everything.
You need to go back to writing. Your writing was really good. That writer's
Yeah.
block is going on 2 years right now.
It hurts so much. I've been trying, man. I've been trying. But every time I look at this Libre open office document, I feel like I feel like a gremlin's on my shoulder going, no.
Just don't feed it. Just don't feed it after 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock? Right? Gremlins?
Midnight, I thought.
It's
yeah,
midnight?
it's midnight.
Midnight. That's why
Yep.
I text Carly once in a while. I'm like, "Did you eat? Because it's midnight. Don't eat."
I'd be afraid to see what she turned into. Just look north in the sky and you just see this beam. Oh, she turned into Godzilla. Got it. Cool.
So before we vacate for the night, if everyone could take a look at our amazing background, done once again by our fabulous James Fair.
I love how he's making a different X for every single movie. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one more question for the consensus before we actually close up, and it's gonna
Okay.
be a thinker.
Okay.
Out of the 400 episodes we have done, which one was your favorite?
That's a lot of freaking episodes.
Yeah, no shit.
The first Kineticon episode I was in. I think.
That was a good one. That was a really good one. Come on, Suze.
But see, here's the problem. I'm in like 90% of these episodes.
Yeah,
So-
it makes it 10 times harder.
So like now I'm sitting here and I'm like, but which one? I don't know that I could pick one. But you know what I think?
I have
It's not
mine
my
if you'd like
favorite
me to go.
podcast, but it was my favorite one to review. And I miss living at my old home for this reason. When we used to sit outside and watch movies, and then a couple days later we would rate them. And I'm particularly thinking of Mulan.
That was a good one.
Oh, I just thought another one because you just brought that up. The time we ranked all our favorite animes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, AJ, actually, I have a good one. Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's not funny. You're not funny, Susie. I don't care if you think you are. You're not.
I could have gone Hereditary.
That's even worse. Will, what's yours been? Because I'm taking a cop out on mine.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, while Will's thinking, I've got another one to add.
Okay, keep
Our
thinking,
honeymoon.
Will. Which one?
Our honeymoon. Didn't we do one
Did we?
reviewing?
Yeah, we
I
did
thought
a
we
honeymoon
did.
episode.
I don't remember.
Neither do I, but I'm pretty sure we did. And if we did, I think that would be my favorite. I got to go on an adventure with my 3 favorite humans.
I had to think for a second. I hate that I had to think for a sec. Like who the 3 were.
That's a little concerning.
It's always concerning.
I'm more concerned that you're not wearing a hat.
I haven't wore a hat on a show in a long time.
I know.
Yeah.
Look
But
at
he's
you.
thinking and not wearing a hat.
Did you have to bring it up?
Execute
Oh, now
66.
Yes, Darth Pumpkin. It's
what
the
you got?
orange. It's the orange.
So, it's actually red. I don't know why it's coming across orange.
Will, what you got? What's your favorite episode?
World Heroes mission.
That was a good one because I recorded that with my brother and you guys at my father's house, and it's got literally a 2 or 3 words that my father said that killed everybody. I don't remember what he said, but it had something to do with me being bald and fat. But killed everybody. Sue's my favorite episode isn't an episode, it's a series that we did. And I can't wait to start it back up. It's when we did The Last of Us.
I miss doing those.
I am very much looking forward to season 2, and I am very sorry that you have to watch season 2 not knowing what's going to happen.
I'm ready. Let's go.
No, you're not.
I'm
You're
not emotionally ready. I'm mentally ready.
No, you're not. Well, everybody, thank you all for tuning in to our 400th episode where we did X2 X-Men United. Hit that like button, subscribe, go follow James or JFair Art on Instagram. But yeah, bye everybody.
Well, bye.
Yeah.
Hi, Al.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing